Hey guys, Omar here at Rogers Music Center in Toronto. Today I wanted to show you guys the Epiphone ES-399 Pro. This guitar is inspired by its older brother, the 335, and that guitar was made famous by players like Chuck Berry, B.B. King, Eric Clapton, Dave Grohl, Josh Homme, and many more. That guitar came out in 1958 and is now known as one of the most iconic guitars of all time. If you've ever seen it, you've probably noticed how big of a guitar it is. You might have seen a picture of B.B. King laying back in his chair playing this huge guitar. It just covers most of his body. And for a lot of players, that guitar was just too big for them to be comfortable. So the good people at Gibson Guitar decided to make a smaller guitar that still captures that same iconic tone. And that's where they came up with the 339. Another noticeable difference between the 35 and the 39 is the size of the neck. And when you're playing it, you'll notice that it's a little bit bigger. It kind of feels like a Les Paul. For me, I really like that. There's many different variations of the 339. This one's the 339 Pro, and one of the main features on this guitar is coil tapping. But we'll get into that a little bit later on in the video. This guitar is made out of 3 different kinds of wood. The shell is made out of maple. The center block, which is a piece of wood that goes through the middle here, is also maple. The neck is made out of mahogany, and the fretboard is rosewood. There's 2 pickups. They're both Alnico Pro Classics. They're supposed to be modeled, like I said earlier, with that classic 335 sound. There's a 3-way pickup switch, volume and tone controls for both pickups. I'm going straight from the guitar into a Hughes and Kettner amp. That is being mic'd by Shure SM57. From there I'm going to my Apogee Quartet and then to Logic 9. So I'll play through the 3 different pickup positions, and then I'm going to switch on some distortion on the amp so you can hear how it sounds with a little bit of dirt. So like I said earlier in this video, one of the cool features about this guitar is coil tapping. So what that means is these are two double coil pickups. If you took these pickup plates off, you'd see two oval things. Those are actually magnets, and that's how the guitar produces its sound. So double coils are known for being really warm, well balanced, and are generally a little louder than single coil pickups. But by tapping the pickups, you're actually cutting out one of those coils and you're only using one. And how that translates to your tone is you get a little bit more punchier or twangier of a sound. And that can be really good in like a live setting. You know, a lot of single coil pickup guitars are really famous. You know, the Strat is single coil, Telecaster single coil. So that really makes this guitar, that's already really versatile and known for being able to pull off a lot of genres, you can do that much more with it. And I think you'd be pretty hard pressed to find a genre that you couldn't do. So to engage the coil tap, all you have to do is pull up these volume knobs. And what I'm going to do for this next example is I'm going to go through this three pickups again, pickup positions again, and then I'll put on some distortion, but both pickups will be tapped. Epiphone as a company was bought by Gibson many years ago, and essentially they make budgeted Gibson model guitars. The way they do this is they make their guitars in Asia, and the quality of materials and construction often isn't as good as their Gibson equivalent. But because of that, their guitars end up being a lot cheaper. For example, this guitar I think is 1/5 the price of its Gibson equivalent, which is fantastic. But a lot of people view Epiphone as a beginner's brand, and in some ways it is. That's not necessarily a bad thing. If you're a beginner guitar player, I would absolutely recommend getting an Epiphone. My first guitar was an Epiphone Les Paul 100, and I played that for years, and I love that guitar. But a lot of times you'll find that the tuning heads may not, hold tune when you're bending, or some of the frets might pop up a little and you have to file them down, or else you can catch them on your way up. All that said, you don't really notice that with this guitar. It doesn't feel like an Epiphone at all. There's no, the neck feels nice, it looks great, it sounds great. I've been playing this for probably 3 hours. I just picked it up on the store front from Rogers Music Center here. And like I said, more than anything, it's versatile, and you just can't argue with that. The one thing that I don't like about this guitar is this pickup here. I found that when I coil tapped it, it was just too thin. And most of my guitars at home are single coil, and I obviously don't shy away from the bridge pickup. I just found that this was too thin. But, you guys just heard it. If you disagree with me, great. So if you're considering getting this guitar, I would absolutely recommend it. I'm kind of considering getting it for myself. And if you want to come by and play it, or pick it up, or any of the gear that you've seen in this video, or even if you're just looking for a new instrument to add to your collection, you should come by Rogers Music Center. We're at 465 Rogers Road in Toronto. And if you want, you can call us. We're 416-651-3332. Be sure to subscribe. This will hopefully be the first video of many that I'll be doing here. Like, share it with all your friends. If you have any questions or comments, leave them below. See you soon. Thanks, guys.